Hey, what's up, my people? How you doing? My name is Dalton, and this is Dalton My World. Now, this is going to be what I call breaking news. All right, and this is also going to involve the stimulus checks. Okay. Now, I like to make a little announcement. Okay, for my haters. If my lazy eye bothers you, if I'm talking too slow for you, okay, if you don't like my videos or me in any way, shape, or form, why are you here? Click off now, okay, and go to another, all right? There's millions of other YouTube channels. Go there now. This is going to be for my subscribers and my viewers, and this is going to be just some serious talk, a little comedy, and some commentary, and of course, my opinion. And I run my channel the way I want to run my channel. Now, I ask you who are staying, I ask you to subscribe, give this a thumbs up. If you disagree with it, give it a thumbs down, you know, and I ask you to share this, all right, even with other platforms, Facebook, wherever. All right, now I have my notes so I could try to stay on track. If you hear some noise in the background, that's my heater, because right now it's, I think, a high of 19 degrees here in Pittsburgh, so I'm not going to be freezing to death, just so everything can sound beautiful. All right. All right. So this is going to be my breaking news. And this is my first breaking news video for January 2022. All right. And of course, I'm going to be talking about the stimulus package. I'm going to be talking about some other stuff in the news, just doing some general chat. Okay. And a lot of this stuff is going to be very important. Okay. I'm not going to put a time limit on this. This may be a long video. Okay. So you can always come back and watch the rest or whatever you want to do. Now, I'm going to go. I got my coffee. I don't care what anybody say, man. That Starbucks coffee is good. I love buying me some Starbucks coffee, man. And having EBT and buying me some Starbucks coffee, because like 30 minutes later you drink coffee from Starbucks. 30 minutes later, you what's going on? What's going on? All right, y'all. So let's get this done. All right. First of all, let's talk about January the 6th. All right. And it always makes me laugh when I hear politicians talk about, oh, well, they're just saying this and they're using politics. Well, they call them politicians for a reason. Okay. Now, January 6th also was a major turning point in my life. January 6th was the straw, the boat that broke the camel's back for me with a lot of things. And the events of January 6th, as well as a lot of other stuff adding up to it, literally had me and made me break off friendships with a group of friends I had from the past. I mean, I knew these people for over 20 years, and it wasn't just what happened January 6th. It was it wasn't just what happened January 6th. It was also a lot of other things that was, added on to that. January 6th and the events that followed afterwards was the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. Okay. And when some of them started supporting the violence and what Proud Boys and all those other white supremacies and were doing and how they were killing people, and trying to compare it with people looting, I'm like, anyway, if you've seen some of my old videos that I wrote about January 6th, you realize how emotional it was. And that was the straw that opened my eyes and saw that me, as well as a group of friends of mine that I had at that time, which they're ex-friends now, were growing, separate. We were maturing and developing separately in our mindsets. And I wish them the best. I do. I wish them the best. I wish them a happy life. I just don't ever want them coming back, because that's, too much water on the bridge. And that would happen on January 6th, which appalled me. And yeah, it is emotional for me to talk about, and how some of them supported it. Just was the straw that broke the camel's back. And, it is going to go down in history. And those just disillusioned think that they're going to stop searching for people who did this, and the people that supported them are definitely in denial of reality. They will never stop. And they shouldn't. Now, so January 6th is coming past and will go down in history books for United States history. Now, let's talk about changing gears now. A lot of times I have to tell people to change the subjects. This is breaking news, as I told you. Let's talk about Sidney Poitier. Now, Sidney Poitier has passed. I loved Sidney Poitier. I loved how he was breaking barriers way before it was cool to do so. Okay? And he's an awesome actor. I'm sorry, he was an awesome actor. And he was one of the first black actors to do a lot of stuff. And he went against even Hollywood's image of Afro-Americans. Okay, and a lot of young people now, they think, Hollywood is starting to open. No, someone had to pry that door open. Someone had, could you imagine how many roles that he refused to do? Because that they want to have him play as a pimp, or a thief or a rapist. I mean, or a slave. That was the parts that they gave Afro Americans back then. And he changed the landscape and changed ideas. Even with interviews, he refused to go on and energize people. Now, he knew he was Afro American. He knew he was a black man. He didn't deny that, but he refused to let people constantly, just focus on that and not his talents, not what he can do. Because he knew that if he was white, they would focus on his characteristics, his talents, all these other aspects, and not just his color. Okay. So, I mean, he broke a lot of ground for a lot of people, and he let people know, hey, you don't have to play this part just because it makes someone else comfortable. Okay? You don't have to deny that you're good in technology and being a black person or a Latin, person just to make someone else feel comfortable and not threatened. No, you be who you are and try to be the best at who you are. And it's a great loss. Okay. And on that note, also, my sweetheart, Betty White, she passed away. She will be missed as well. She was one of the coolest actresses there was. Okay. She was just cool. And so we're losing a lot of legends, but I'm thankful that they were able to make their mark. Okay. Now, on to something a little bit different. The mandate. Yes, you know what I'm talking about. Getting a jab, right? I'm talking about the vaccine mandate. That's right. Well, if you don't know, give me 1 second. Love me some Starbucks. If you don't know, it's gone to the Supreme Court. Okay. Now, majority of the Supreme Court, if I'm not mistaken, is Republican or conservative, which I have no problem with that. It is what it is. But the fact is that the Democrats in the Supreme Court is trying to lean more towards Biden. Okay. But the conservatives seem like they're leaning more towards the fact that the mandate. Okay, the problem with this mandate is this. It's on the verge of being unconstitutional. Now, I'm not saying that people shouldn't get the shot or people should get the shot. I'm not saying either way. Okay, I'm not saying either way. I mean, it's up to you as a person. Okay, because honestly, the people making money right now is the pharmaceutical companies. They making bank. Okay, and they're gonna keep making bank because they're still gonna keep being different versions of this COVID-19. Okay, I hope I don't get strike. I don't know. I'm supposed to say that of this virus. Okay, there's gonna be different versions of it. This is gonna go on for a while because this is a highly intelligent virus. Okay, it was created, all right, to adapt. So it's going to be going on for a while. So the problem with the mandate, and it always makes me laugh how President Biden tried to criticize Trump when he's doing some of the same stuff that Trump was trying to do, but in a different way. And there was a lot of times Supreme Court knocked down Trump and said, no, you can't do that. You're a president, not a king. Same thing for Biden. He's trying to force his opinion of what should be done right on the American people and force them to do it. Okay? They're creating these pseudo concentration camps in other countries that if you don't get the shot, they're gonna send you there. If you don't know that right now, yes, they are. So the mandate is gone to the Supreme Court. They're judging it right now. The problem with the mandate is it hurts democracy. Okay, democracy is the freedom not to be completely controlled by one aspect of the government or one person in the government. We are not a totalitarian type government, okay, or a communist type government. We are a democracy. So therefore, the main reason America was created is because they were trying to get from under the rule of a king in England, okay, forcing people to do things whether they want to or not. So then you got democracy. So how in the world is it okay for you to mandate and force people to do stuff? Because one of the main problems of that is that if you know anything about the American government, you understand that if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. Don't believe that? Look at 9/11, Patriot Act. They stripped us of our rights and freedoms. And we're still, to this day, if you're a young person, listen, we're still to this day fighting to get some of those rights back. To this day. Look it up. So the problem is, does this mandate go against the very essence of democracy? Does this mandate, does okaying this mandate do the very thing that those Trump supporters tried to do on January 6th and overturn the government and force people to do what they want to do by force? Does it? That's what you got to look at, because if you crack, you got to have your boundaries, people. And you can't let people abuse those boundaries, even if they give you the silent treatment. Okay? You got to have those boundaries. And even if it cracks a little bit, that's all it takes. Okay? And that's what I think they're trying to judge and see, because Biden is saying the same thing that Trump said in a different way, and trying to do the same stuff that Trump was doing, but in a different way. And I'm not saying that we should not be proactive when it comes to these viruses. I'm not saying that people shouldn't get shots. But I'm saying that it is their right to choose if they want to or not. Okay? And they have to deal with the consequences if they choose they want to or not. That is part of America, the freedom to have your own opinion, have your own right to choose. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't be proactive and try to do our best in the most positive way to fight this virus. Okay, I'm not saying that. Even if that includes getting a jab. Because, hey, even myself, people, I have till I think it's February the 12th to get the jab, or else I'll lose my job. Okay? So, it affects me, too. Okay? Now, here's the deal. Now, here's the big question. If the Supreme Court says it's unconstitutional, then are these companies liable if they try to force you to get that after the Supreme Court? Are they liable to get sued if they try to force you to get that shot after the Supreme Court states that it is not constitutional to mandate and force people to get a jab? See, it'll change everything. And right now, they're hearing the argument. So right now, within days, if not maybe a week at the most, they're gonna make their judgment. And if it is unconstitutional, and they strike it down, the Supreme Court has the last word. Okay, you can appeal all you want to, but basically most appeals go by the wayside. I mean, most times you can appeal over and over again, don't mean nothing. They have the last word. So things can change in a New York second, okay? Because if they say it's unconstitutional, that mandate is squashed, okay? So therefore, you will not have to get that jab, and you may be able to sue a company that's trying to force you out for not getting it. So a lot of things is right now. This is happening in real time right now. Now, let's talk about. Before I go to this next subject, I want to talk about. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and they were telling me about how they hate wearing masks. And one of the main reasons they hate wearing masks is because they feel like masks represent suppression. People, they're trying to suppress you. They're trying to stop you and tell you to shut up, and almost like enslave. And that's one. And honestly, that is one of the things that they used to have in slavery. They put things over a person's mouth. So no matter what was being done to them, the screams were muffled. It's true. So I see both sides of the points. Nevertheless, I love my mask. See, let me check it. I love my mask because, and this is an N95, okay? And right now, it being 19 degrees here in Pittsburgh, this mask don't just keep out virus and stuff. It keeps my face warm, my cheeks and everything warm. So I'm wearing this a lot not because to keep out the viruses and everything. I'm wearing a lot of these cloth masks because it keeps your whole face warm, man. I mean, it really does. People got this little thin mask on, hanging halfway down there. It's freezing out there at the bus stop, and I got my thing on. Got my music kicking. They be looking at me all mad. I don't care. I'm cool. Oh, man. All right. Now, let's get on to the stimulus package. All right. Dealing with the stimulus package, one of the main things that people wanted to know is there going to be a stimulus check in this fourth stimulus package? Now, I was reading some information the other day, and it made total logical sense to me. And this is what it stated. Okay. Basically, when it comes to a stimulus package, the chances of us getting a check is much better than it was when they started writing the stimulus package. Okay. Not saying that you're going to get one. Now, I definitely don't see no multiple checks, but I'm talking about a single one. It's a lot better now. I mean, it's not great, but it's a lot better now than it was. And I'm not saying you're going to get one because you may not. But what's different, as I'm reading this article, what's different now than when we first started with this virus is that businesses, small businesses, God bless their souls, were shutting down left and right and have shut down. And some bigger ones did too. Okay? There were no jobs. Okay, people thought, go to work. You couldn't go to work. These small businesses still are shut down. Okay? There were no jobs. People couldn't even do construction. Fear was rampant. They had no knowledge of this new virus. that was kept from us as a secret from Trump. I mean, he admitted he did it. He had his reasons, he said, but he admitted he did it. So I mean, and there were no jobs. So it helped American people and it helped boost the economy. All right, and that's why we got them stimulus checks, and Wall Street loved it. Now, even though we got this virus, and I'm gonna give credit where it's true. Thank you, Trump, for fast tracking the vaccine. I mean, you don't have to take it, but I'm just saying, thank you, Trump. Because if he would not have done what he did, even though people are trying to erase what he did, a lot more people would be dead right now. Okay, it was Trump that fast tracked some of these vaccines. And now a lot of these companies are even talking about and has created some stuff to help HIV victims. Okay, and some of them are trying to find a cure for HIV. Okay, but all this came along because of Trump. Okay, so give credit what's credit. I'm not saying I love his opinion on all that stuff, but the things he did right. Now, back to the stimulus package. Okay, so the difference now is that there are jobs. There's tons of jobs. There's even work at home jobs. Okay, but back then there were no jobs because all these businesses were closing and did close up. Okay, so all these people didn't go to work. There was nowhere to go to work. You couldn't. Okay, that's like telling a person in the middle of the desert, well, just drink some water, and where there is no water. You think I don't want to drink water? I want water. I'm in the desert. But now the difference is why you may not get a stimulus check is that even though you got the virus, you have more than enough jobs. Okay, you have more than enough jobs. People are not taking them. In my opinion, one of the main reasons people are not taking them because they're in denial. They're trying to make it before we have a new norm. They're trying to make a new norm. And you can't make a new norm. It develops. Okay. And they're in denial. Okay. So what they're doing right now is they're using their credit cards. Okay. Yeah. They're not working. They don't have money coming in except for maybe some unemployment. And they no longer have that extra additional unemployment. Okay. They just have regular unemployment. So the reality that they're going to have to get a part-time job or a full-time job has not settled in yet. Okay, and so they're using their credit cards, okay, to make everything look like it's normal, it's okay, but it's not, because they call it credit for a reason. Eventually you got to pay it back, and once they pay it back, the reality is going to come in that more money is going out than coming in, and something has to be done. Okay. So that's one of the reasons that you may not get a stimulus check, because there are jobs. But back then, around the second and third, there weren't. The first, second, and third stimulus, there wasn't any. But now, there are. There are tons of jobs out there. And some of them are work at home. So why isn't a person doing a work at home job? Okay, you're not around people. You're at home. You're in a finite area in which you can make as sanitized as you want, and you can allow who you want in for most of the part and who you don't. So why you're not taking them? Okay. Now, so that's one reason on the stimulus package that you may not get a single stimulus, a new stimulus check. But on the flip side, with this fourth stimulus package, which they are going, I really do believe they're going to pass in January. And what on the flip side, what gives you a better chance of getting a stimulus check is because Republicans are talking about cutting out the fat, creating their own fourth stimulus package and making it where it'll be a bipartisan, which the Republicans will create it and just have some Democrats support it as well, and it can pass that way. And the Republican one that they're talking about creating before this fourth recon is passed, they are hinting around that it definitely will include stimulus checks. So that's kind of putting pressure on the Democrats to maybe include stimulus checks. So that increases your chance, okay? But there is nothing in writing as of right now that says that you're going to get a stimulus check or even multiple stimulus checks, no matter what anybody's saying, okay? It's all up in the air, but the chances, as the Republicans are actually getting on board talking about we want to create our own bipartisan package for stimulus package that would include stimulus checks and stuff for low income, and may most likely cut out a lot of that climate change stuff that Biden got and just focus on stuff for the American people and not try to give money, taxpayer money, to illegal aliens and all that other stuff. It sounds popular, and if they come out with it, most people may demand that they take it. And the way the Republicans are talking about it, it definitely would have a stimulus check in it. So all hope is not lost. Now, in the fourth stimulus package, like I said, some people are now working. When you have a single family and you're taking care of kids, you don't have a babysitter, you can't afford it. Well, in the fourth stimulus package that the Democrats, that's the recon, that the Democrats are trying to make into law and they're pushing, actually have money for like daycare, money for, babysitting and all that other stuff while you go to work for families, for whether you're a single family, a two-parent family, it doesn't matter. It has money in there so that people can go back to work. And one way or another, one of these packages, in my opinion, will be passed in January. And I really believe it would be maybe like next week, around January 14th. It may be a little bit later than that, but I really don't think so. Of 2022, of course. All right. So, last but not least, got my notes. See, I'm using cue cards, Jamie. Can you tell the coffee's kicking in now? Wait a minute. Yeah, I gotta go to work today too. Gotta make some money, you know what I'm saying? I had something funny happen to me the other day, and I I started to tell you about it, and I was like, ooh, I can't say anything. Because it happened with a friend of mine. I was like, ooh. I can't say. I'm trying to tell you about it. It was like, oops. Because sometimes I forget. I got 3,000 subscribers, man. Shit. There's a lot of people, a lot of people in a lot of different occupations that watch this. Some of my friends. So, all right. Last but not least, let's talk about Miss Maxwell. Yes, Miss Maxwell. She's gone to jail, and she's gonna do some time. and she deserves it. All right, but don't you get it bent. Wait till later this year. You're gonna see people going down, man. Don't think that this shit didn't give up some names just because just because the news didn't say anything or you don't hear anything like that. That don't mean nothing. Don't think that she didn't give up names. She gave some names, baby. Yeah, you just because you don't hear about it, just because it didn't go public, don't. She gave up some names. So you start hearing about people getting busted and all these famous people going down and mysteriously resigning from positions, and used to be a CEO and decide they're going to step down. Yeah. Amazon. yeah. You start hearing, you're gonna hear them. No, I'm gonna step down from being a CEO and just focus on family and all this. Yeah, because they're gonna get a win. Oh yeah, we got your name on the list, and you're investigated for sex trafficking and buying men, women, boys, girls. You'll hear them. They just because they being quiet don't mean nothing. They got names. Okay, and that includes up there in England. There's some high royalties that's probably going down too. Think they getting away with it. Ain't getting away with nothing yet because they ain't done yet. Okay. Now, she's going to jail and she's doing some time. Also, the killers of Aubrey. Yeah, I think the brother's name is Aubrey. 25-year-old black man that was hunted down like an animal by 3 white men and murdered. Yeah, they all been found guilty. They're all gonna be doing time. But I think one of them recently gonna get life. Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't always work, but sometimes the justice system does. Okay, that doesn't bring back a person's loved one, though. You know what I'm saying? That does not bring back a person's loved one. But it is better than nothing. That's for sure. And it does, without a doubt, send a message to people that just because in your little group you think ignorance will be tolerated does not mean that ignorance will be tolerated. And may he rest in peace. May all of them rest in peace, including the actor Sidney Poitier and Betty White. Okay, we'll miss y'all. We'll miss y'all. Okay, and that's about it, people. I will rap to y'all later. I told you it was gonna be a long one. Hey, I'll rap to you later. Peace.